In triple overtime against Fresno State in last night's semifinal. And for Utah, Keith Van Horn, the 6'9" junior, a two-time conference MVP.
And both Shields and Van Horn, when both New Mexico and Utah are in man-to-man, will be matched up against each other. It should be a very interesting and exciting battle between those two athletes.
New Mexico 26-4 on the season. Utah 25-5 and ranked number 10 in the AP poll. Tip control by Utah.
Mexico quickly going to a 2-3 zone. Actually, it's a box and one with Shields playing man-to-man against Van Horn.
Andre Miller down the lane, floats it up and rattles in and out. Shorenstein the rebound for New Mexico. And let me tell you, folks, the pit will be rocking tonight. Jesse the steal. 3-on-2. Van Horn pulls up. Soft jumper won't fall. Jesse the rebound. And Kenny Thomas, the WAC Freshman of the Year, pulls down his first rebound.
I would suspect both teams coming off very exciting games yesterday, in particular New Mexico with that triple overtime victory. Both teams a little bit excited, a little bit nervous. You can expect the play to be a little bit sloppy at the beginning.
Utah was pushed to the limit by Colorado State. The final 71-69, won at the buzzer by Van Horn. Miller, Jesse floats it down the baseline. Jesse coming off a 7.7 rebound performance against Colorado State.
Andre Miller just making the right decision in that 3-on-2 fast break. The lanes really not filled properly by Utah running wide, but Andre Miller jump stopping, and that's what led to that easy pass and basket.
With Thomas drives the triple team, still the freshman able to push it through traffic.
Where Kenny Thomas is really amazing, especially as a freshman, is his patience when he gets the ball in the low post. He's awfully quick, but he takes his time, he reads the defense, and he always tries to take the appropriate shot.
Played 49 minutes in that triple overtime win last night. Doliak puts it up. No. Smith squares up. Three-pointer. Rattles down.
The Spider-Man.
Back inside to Doliak, and the sophomore from Portland, Oregon. On the board, 5-4, New Mexico.
And Michael Doliak, a very difficult matchup in the low post for Kenny Thomas. Thomas has really got to do his work early and try and force Doliak not to catch the ball so close or deep to the basket.
Moose Stubing with the whistle. And look at last night, Larry. Shields 52 minutes, Gibson 51, Smith 50, Kenny Thomas 49.
It's a player's dream to be able to play that many minutes in a ball game. Look at how many opportunities you get to score. But the reality of it is, somewhere with about 3 to 5 minutes played, the adrenaline is going to wear off these New Mexico players, and we'll really find out what kind of condition they're really in.
Keith Van Horn, he can take it inside, but the big 6'9" junior so dangerous from behind the line.
And that's where Keith Van Horn puts a lot of pressure on your defense. You play him big, he takes you outside. You play him small, he can post you up. Kenny Thomas now, he's going to drop step and spin. He catches Doliak on his hip, so there's really nothing Doliak can do. Van Horn coming over late and catching Thomas on the side.
Kenny Thomas will shoot a pair. Hometown product, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Played at Albuquerque High School. Shoots 70% from the line. Very impressive for an 18-year-old.
Well, he currently holds all the scoring and rebounding records, as you can well imagine, for a freshman at the University of New Mexico.
Loose ball pulled down by Doliak. Andre Miller across midcourt. Doliak from the free throw line. Van Horn went for the rebound. Loose ball to Jesse. The floater, no. Doliak crashes the board and hits the putback. Doliak's second bucket of the game, and Utah leads by 3.
If there's one weakness in New Mexico's game, they have averaged giving up 12 offensive rebounds per game, and that's one of Utah's strengths. They really do a fine job of getting the offensive board.
Schornstein, that ball was in. It came right back out.
Russ Schornstein has had a marvelous tournament. He shot 50% from behind the arc in the 2 tournament games. He came into the tournament only shooting 44%.
Andre Miller. And Doliak pushed on Kenny Thomas. And so Doliak picks up the foul, his first. And a whistle and a timeout. 15:58 to play. First half in Albuquerque. Utah by 3. Back to the pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico, home of the Lobos. 15:58 to play, opening half, Utah by 3. Following this game, make sure you stick around. The Big Sky Tournament, that's the championship game. It follows Weber State taking on Montana State. That's coming up after this one.
Early field goals, Utah having put up 11 shots, and when you see that kind of a disparity in shooting, you can usually look to either the turnover column, which there hasn't been many of in this ball game so far, but the offensive rebounding. That's where Utah has gotten the extra shots.
Gibson to Shields, three-point shot, drains it. Clayton Shields, the sophomore from Baytown, Texas. And back the other way, Shields having a talk there with head coach Dave Bliss, and Shields picks up the foul.
This is the game within the game. You see Shields and Van Horn, New Mexico in red in a man-to-man. You keep your feet busy, and that time Shields gets caught. You get one bump, you get off. You get another bump, but you can't use that second and third bump to push the offensive player, in that case Van Horn, away from that low post position.
Rydalls checks in for Utah. Ben Caton from long range nails it. A three-pointer for Caton, a sophomore from Alamosa, Colorado, a transfer out of Ricks Junior College in Rexburg, Idaho.
And Utah will need Caton scoring.
Thomas, count it. And a foul whistled on Caton.
Now you watch the entry pass, and it's laid out there just perfectly. Kenny Thomas very good at establishing and then moving the defender away from the basket or away from the target hand. If Utah's going to help on that backside and defend that lob pass, they've got to do a better job of anticipating it and getting there as the ball is delivered, so that weak side defender has an established defensive position.
Three-point play for Kenny Thomas. What a frame for a freshman, 6'9", 250.
And I tell you what, when he gets some of that baby fat off of him and he becomes more honed and chiseled, he's going to be a terrific player because he's got all the little nuances as to how to get open and what to do with the ball on the inside.
Last touched by Alney, who just checked in for New Mexico. Royce Alney, a sophomore. Here's a look at Dave Bliss in his 8th year, WAC Coach of the Year. Led this team to 26 victories, 4 losses. Hoping for an automatic berth in the tournament with a win tonight. Van Horn turn around off the side of the rim.
Van Horn a little bit off balance that time, but you could credit the aggressive defense of New Mexico. You want to play a player like Van Horn physically. You want to bump him, move him around. Don't give him those quick, short bursts to the ball, or especially off the dribble. You want to disrupt his rhythm.
Shields, too strong. Andre Miller the rebound. Inside, tried to force it to Ben Melmoth, and it's picked up by New Mexico. Utah not taking care of the ball on these last couple of possessions. Thomas sets the pick.
That's good defense on that pick and roll.
All the behind the line to Gibson. 14 on the shot clock to Schornstein.
Well, Utah very fundamentally sound, and they did a very good job of handling that pick and roll and rotating back.
3-second on Thomas.
Callahead of Arizona, that's going to be a good one. And Utah State over Long Beach State.
We're tied at 12. 13:40 to go. Opening half here in Albuquerque. A foul called on Schornstein away from the ball. Greg Schornstein, a junior from Lafayette, Indiana, fouled out against Fresno State last night.
Well, he's been disqualified 3 times now. You get that bump, and then you got to get off. You can't ride the offensive player. Now, the off official will watch that. You get a bump, and that changes the offensive player's rhythm, but you can't ride him. As soon as you ride him, all good offensive players will flail those arms and draw attention to it, and 9 times out of 10, you can bait the official into making that call.
Van Horn feeds Jesse. Turn around, rolls in and out. Charles Smith brings it across midcourt to Gibson.
I'm telling you, that's Brandon Jesse's area of the floor. He's a very good traffic player. He likes to move out to 10 to 12 feet. He's got an excellent touch in that little in-between area. Very makeable shot for Jesse.
Olney, the rainbow. Missed it all. Van Horn to Rydolph. Down to Hampton, lets the traffic go by, and he's called for taking steps. Turnover, Utah. You take a chance sometimes, Larry, when you let some of that traffic go by. You tend as a player to let a couple take a hop and a skip on occasion.
Well, that's when you have to let that court experience and awareness take over. And when you feel that defensive pressure bearing down from behind, you take that power dribble and then either pump fake and go up or take the power dribble and go to the other side.
12.5 minutes ago, Schornstein from long range. Doliak got a finger on it. Back comes Smith, the floater, and in. Charles Smith with his 5th point. 2 buckets. The junior out of Fort Worth.
If Charles Smith does not have that 6', 11-inch wingspan and great hang time, he gets that last shot blocked. Great extension. They've got a sign posted up here in the pit with the 6th man written on it. You can hear why.
Jesse having trouble finding the bottom of the net. Olney on the break. 2-point bucket if it goes. And a foul underneath Charles Smith. Smith picks up his first, and we'll take a break. 11:45 to go in the half. Dave Bliss at his Lobos up by 2. The WAC championship on the line. Craig Bowler-Jack, Larry Farmer. In Albuquerque, New Mexico by 2.
And Utah has not scored in the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds, Craig. And very similar to how they started off in that second half of the CSU ball game yesterday, where they went a long period of time, over 5 minutes, without scoring anything other than a free throw.
Well, you talked about fatigue. You talked about hitting the wall about the 7-8 minute mark of this game. Both clubs played a lot of basketball last night. Doliak, look at the circus save to Rydolph. Last touch by New Mexico. Lonnie Dixon had his eye right on it.
And it was good hustle. Coach Dave Bliss of New Mexico applauding the official. Anytime you can agree with an official, you really want to make sure that he sees you. When you get on him about the next call, you can't get quite as angry.
I never saw you clap the hands.
No, he's had him in one of those positions to grab the official by the neck.
Van Horn in the lane. Drops down his 2nd bucket. And we're tied at 14.
That's one of the areas of Van Horn's game that makes him extremely difficult to guard. He's got the 3-point range, but he's also got the ability to put the ball on the floor, create, and get it in that in-between area. Doesn't have to get it all the way to the front of the rim to score, but he can jump stop. You watch him here. Nice little hesitation, gets right to the defense, doesn't charge, keeps himself under control, and then knocks that in-between shot down.
24 points last night in 37 minutes against Colorado State. Kenny Thomas shoots it up and over the rim. Andre Miller across midcourt. 3-on-3.
And you watch the adjustment Utah made in their defense.
Payton down the lane. The sea parted, and he said, "Thank you." Payton with a second hoop. 5 points, and it's a 16-14 Utah lead.
We mentioned earlier, it's very important for Payton to give some offense to this Utah team.
Impressive defense by Van Horn. Goliak came over to help out, draws the foul, and Kenny Thomas with a chance for another 3-point play in this game.
Thomas very good at getting his balance. You watch him here, goes up, takes the power dribble. Now he lowers his shoulder, does a very good job of hitting Van Horn, but not moving Van Horn off the spot to draw that offensive foul, but always imbalanced. Kenny Thomas, always knowing exactly where that rim is. He gains any advantage on the inside. He's prone to attack, draw contact, and then have that 3-point opportunity.
8 points, looking for 9 is Kenny Thomas. Daniel Santiago will check in. Out goes Kenny Thomas for a break. Santiago, a 7-foot 1-inch sophomore from Albuquerque, played at New Mexico Military Institute, and he is a big body.
He really has showed marked improvement over the summer. A lot of people thought that Santiago was going to go to junior college for 2 years, so they got off of him, but in a big man's camp, did a great job, and Arizona, Michigan got in on him, and New Mexico was very fortunate in signing. Santiago's got great hands, he's just got to work on his feet.
17-16, New Mexico. Smith against Jesse. Back to Schornstein. Olney around Andre Miller. Vader. And the rebound goes to Utah.
Utah in their man-to-man defense, very fundamentally sound, really not giving up dribble penetration. They're a lot quicker now to help on those lob passes over the top to the post.
Jesse gave it back to Ben Melmoth, and the sophomore from Newcastle, Australia, breaks on the board and puts Utah on top 18-17. 20-second timeout, and don't forget, Sunday on ESPN at 6:27 Eastern.
New Mexico, but then you get down to that third place and you start to talk about Fresno State.
You're talking about the Tarkanian factor. He worked miracles with Fresno State. I saw that team early in the season, preseason NIT against Weber State. He has taken that young club a long way.
And you look at the fact that he's beaten Utah twice and beat them at home, and both times he beat Utah, they were ranked. That Tarkanian factor, I think, will loom large when you talk about having a very entertaining, a very competitive basketball team in the field of 64.
Saved by Caton, but picked up by New Mexico. Now Smith from way out. Schornstein the rebound, hooks it with his right hand. Too strong. Melmoth the rebound for Utah.
You watch, the only times that the defense of Utah, the man-to-man, has really broken down is when they've not been quick to the ball and they've allowed New Mexico the second shot opportunities.
Caton. Thomas flies in, beats Melmoth for the rebound. Yeah, they call him Baby Shaq here in Albuquerque, and I'm not going to argue.
But I tell you what, he's got a habit sometimes when he really wants to draw attention to the fact that Kenny Thomas has gotten this rebound, is he likes to cup it in one hand. He's got a tremendous outlet pass.
Around Melmoth. Oh, what a quick step. Kenny Thomas having his way here early, 11 points. And New Mexico jumps back on top by 1.
Kenny Thomas really getting it done in traffic at the defensive end. That's a little warning. You make that noise when you want players to understand that this is your area of the floor, this is your basketball, and you want them to move out of your way. Now, the saying, Thomas has got a tremendous outlet pass, and when he gets that ball, he cradles it, and he's immediately looking up the floor, and he's great at triggering the New Mexico fast break.
6 turnovers now for Utah. Under 8 minutes to go. Opening half, WAC championship.
And I tell you what, I'm watching New Mexico. They've been quick to the ball. They've done a very good job on the offensive glass.
And they're feeding Kenny Thomas with a big spoon. 13 points for the freshman.
And more importantly, you and I hit on this before, is he's only got one personal foul.
Boy, Van Horn can silence the crowd in a hurry. And the tables have turned just that quickly. 8 points, 2 3-pointers for Van Horn. We're tied at 21.
And you watch Van Horn, his expression is he doesn't change his expression. He doesn't show you what he's thinking. He just steps back, extends your defense. If you give him any room, he gets that nice look at the three. He can knock that shot down.
There's a timeout. 7:20 to go in the half. 21 all. Kenny Thomas with 13 points. We'll be back. 21 all of New Mexico and Utah. Kenny Thomas on the floor with 2 fouls, 13 points, and 5 boards.
And Kenny Thomas, this is where you watch his maturity. He does a very good job of playing with 2 fouls, not getting the third. And when he picks up the third, he does a marvelous job of stretching that time so he doesn't pick up that 4th or 5th quickly.
Well, a lot of bumping underneath. Schornstein drives on Van Horn. Gibson inside, only pushed off. Offensive foul.
You'll see Alney posted down there. He's got right-offs, and he takes that left arm, and he tries to gain an advantage, and he pushes off. Alney at 6'2", 175. Right-offs at 6'1", 175. There's only an inch difference, but you see Alney, that lower body's awfully strong. If they're going to look to post him, he's just got to use his body instead of trying to gain advantage with the arms.
Van Horn lost the handle, grabbed it back, couldn't find the shot. And now Kenny Thomas and Chapman exchange some verbiage. I'll tell you, Doug Chapman, Rick Majerus just calls him old reliable. Been around this program for years. 6'6", 241. He comes in as a body.
Chapman, a very physical player. You see Van Horn, he lost the handle on the ball, but his soft touch enabled him to keep it alive. Chapman came over the top, and in an effort to get after that rebound, he inadvertently hit Kenny Thomas across the forehead, and Thomas took exception to it.
Rick Majerus letting his feelings known to Chapman. A technical foul called and 2 shots for Royce Alney.
Well, if you're an official, Moose Steuben really wants to keep this ball game under control, and certainly any of that verbal trash talking going back and forth in a high-charged ball game like this could only result in fisticuffs, and certainly the referees jumping on top of that right away, calling the technical foul, and that usually settles things down.
So Chapman stays on the bench after the technical free throws. Ben Melmoth back in for Utah.
And that's the 18th foul against Utah. So what the officials are huddling on, because there was a reach-in foul prior. There was a reach-in foul prior to the technical foul being called. And Coach Dave Bliss wants the 1-and-1.
11 for 17 fouls. And New Mexico with 5.
Well, the problem was on the scoreboard, it had indicated there was 18 fouls. And had it been 18 fouls, and Dave Bliss still up pleading his case. The foul was the 6th, and the 7th foul was the technical. Well, anyway, we're playing ball, and the 1-and-1 didn't get shot.
That's right. Chapman on the bench with 3 fouls. Schornstein eyes the 3, and Van Horn climbs the ladder for the rebound. Here comes Andre Miller. 3-on-2 for Utah. Backs it out. Looks inside to Melmoth, now Reidholtz, top of the key. Inside Van Horn in traffic. Shields had the rebound, lost it to Miller underneath. Still battles and puts it in. Andre Miller, the sophomore from Los Angeles. And it puts Utah up by 1.
Much improved the last 6 games. He's averaged 11 points, and is evident there the last 6 games. He's gotten in out of his point guard position. He's gotten 6 rebounds.
Loose ball, picked up, thrown away. Jesse chases it, spins, lays it in. Brandon Jesse, second bucket, and Utah leads now by 3.
And this is where New Mexico's really got to suck it up, take a gut check. They've had a couple of bad half-court possessions. They've got to take a deep breath, move that ball around, look to get it inside to Thomas, get a high percentage shot.
Olney works it on the far side, now to Gibson from the free throw lineup. Ball was blocked by Miller. Loose ball punched out by Thomas. Jesse starts to break to Andre Miller. And the foul on Olney as he came over the back.
Rick, we talked about fatigue, and perhaps we're seeing it now. We thought it would have come maybe earlier in this first half, but New Mexico really slow both times in getting back in defensive transition. Boy, Olney had a real good angle on the ball, but when he slapped down to attempt to block the shot, he did make contact, which will send Miller to the line. I'm really amazed at the physical fitness of this New Mexico team. Again, we talked about them playing 3 overtimes. They're at altitude. Of course, they're accustomed to that because they play here. But when you only go 7 or 8 deep every ball game, and you know that you're going to play, and you work hard in practice, you develop the kind of fitness that you need in a ball game like this, especially in back-to-back contests.
There's a timeout. 5:01 to go in the half. Utah by 4. Back to the pit after this. Big win for Arizona, 11th ranked in the country. Here Utah, 10th ranked, leading New Mexico by 4.
And I tell you what, that is a big win for Arizona. They got upset last year by that Cal team, and Cal was awfully strange last year. They were able to beat both Arizona and UCLA on the road, but couldn't beat them at home.
One more shot. Andre Miller.
Think about how that Pac-10 is shaped up. That really makes California one of those bubble teams.
We'll be sitting close to the TV tomorrow. 27-22, Utah by 5. Under 5 to go here in the opening half. Thomas trying to post up on Melmoth.
Just great job, Melmoth, keeping Thomas busy, getting in front, getting great weak side support from Van Horn. They're really going at it.
There's some small quakes going on out there. 5 on the shot clock. Pull-up jumper wouldn't go. And the rebound to Van Horn. Here comes Rydalls. 3-point shot away. Short. And the rebound right to Shields, and Smith walks it across midcourt.
And I tell you, if Rydalls knocks that down, Utah has momentum. You just got through playing 33 great seconds of excellent team defense. You did not allow New Mexico to get that ball inside, which is exactly where they went this time, where they wanted to go last time.
New Mexico continues to feed Kenny Thomas, and Melmoth trying to hold his ground, picks up the foul, and that was New Mexico at the line.
Well, see, Thomas uses that left arm, and it keeps Melmoth from getting around in front and three-quartering him, which then forces that pass over the top. Melmoth gets assessed the personal. He also got whacked by that left arm that Kenny Thomas was holding him off with. It's so important defensively to keep active. If your game plan is to front, you've got to make sure that before that ball gets in a position to be passed into the low post, that you use your quickness, get around in front of a player like Thomas, who's very strong. If you wait to the last minute, Thomas is just going to hold you off.
Looking for his 15th point. 15 for Thomas, an all WAC pick. Only the 5th freshman, by the way, in WAC history to be named first team all WAC.
So I think before that young man's career is over, with the way he can play at both ends of the floor, he's going to be the first in a lot of areas.
Miller's jumper short, falls off to Schornstein. New Mexico trying to push the tempo up to Shields. Full fire from long range. Jesse got a hand on it. Chapman hits the deck, and laying on his back was Kenny Thomas. That is a load. Chapman just checked in.
Now, it's interesting because Chapman got the worst end of that deal, and you couldn't tell from that angle, but if Kenny Thomas goes over his back, then Kenny Thomas should have been assessed that foul. But if Kenny Thomas goes straight up and Chapman backed into him in an effort to box out, then the foul goes to him.
You see Utah State with the upset on Long Beach State in the Big West semifinal. Thomas will go to the line once again to shoot the 1-and-1, and the fourth foul on Chapman. Van Horn pulls it down to Andre Miller. 27-24 Utah. Payton working hard. Back to Jesse. The floater. And a whistle. Well, make sure you don't miss the final day of the championship week on Sunday on ESPN. The ACC Championship, 1 o'clock Eastern. Georgia Tech and Wake Forest. Michigan State and Indiana, they go at 3. And the Big West Championship game at 5. All that followed by the tournament selection specials. Clearly, ESPN is the place to be Sunday. And Utah State in the Big West Championship game. You'll see it tomorrow here on ESPN.
That Big West was a strange race this year. Irvine controlling it early. Long Beach State then being in the driver's seat. The conference that nobody appeared to want to win.
Larry Eustacey, the head coach for the Aggies. Jesse with his 6th point and a timeout. And a 20-second timeout call. Rick Majerus with his team huddled up. Make sure you stick around for halftime. The Big East Showdown, and what a showdown it was. The Ivy League Thriller and Temple and UMass. That's all coming up at halftime with Chris Fowler and Digger Phelps. Well, what a day. What a week. What a month.
Yeah, well, wait till tomorrow when everybody starts to find out where they're going and who's not going.
The teams on the bubble, of course. Then the next move would be an NIT berth for some teams around the country.
And I tell you what, the key word there is postseason. There are a lot of people that should get invited to the tournament that won't. There are a lot of people that get an opportunity to play in the NIT, and it's all important. I was very fortunate to play in 3 postseason tournaments, and it's the dream of a lifetime. It's something that these youngsters will never forget.
Mexico, a 5-minute drought. Smith launches from long range, too strong. Thomas keeps it alive. Fresh 35 on the shot clock. Olney will launch a long one off the rim. Shields chases it down, tips it out to Gibson. Smith quick on the dribble.
Look how Utah is reacting to those quick passes.
Shields leans it off the glass. The tip didn't go. Thomas right there in the paint. He gets the bucket. 17 points for Kenny Thomas. That, Larry, is a big bucket. Gets his crowd back in the game and breaks a long 5.5-minute drought.
Kenny Thomas was probably going to score in there anyway, but Van Horn very smart on that play. He took a flop, it gave up an easy shot. Talk about easy shots. Brandon Jesse from the outside.
Jesse squared up, kind of split the legs and hit the J. 31-26 Utah. 8 points now for Brandon Jesse.
But if Van Horn can draw a cheap foul like that, that might be the only thing so far this half that can stop Kenny Thomas.
Under 2 minutes left in the half. Olney had the open shot, kicks it back to Smith from the free throw line. No. Thomas kept it alive. Shields. Thomas battles the whistle. No bucket. Oh, what action in the paint.
You watch Thomas now, he's in the center of the screen, doesn't get that rebound, but much like Dennis Rodman, there you saw the flop, or maybe that was not a flop. but he just keeps the ball active, gets his hands up, and assumes that shot's going to be missed, anticipates exactly where it's going to go. He's got a vacuum cleaner type approach to getting those rebounds on the inside.
He's got some big hands. Look at the offensive boards. New Mexico out rebounding Utah in that category, 11-5. And Thomas continues to knock down the free throws.
And that's one area that Utah has very seldom gotten beat on this season. They're third in the nation in rebound margin. They out-rebound their opponents on the average by 10 per game.
Thomas with another. 19 points for the freshman. Utah's lead down to 3 and 1:40 to go in the half.
There was a moment there about 6 minutes ago where I thought New Mexico had really hit the wall. They started to get tired. They certainly have turned it up a notch.
Well, they got the second win. Thomas, the big fella, chases down the loose ball in the corner. He wants it. The lob to Thomas. And Andre Miller picks up his second foul. I don't know if that was a good idea or not.
Well, so far, Thomas has been the focal point of New Mexico's offense. He sprints down the floor, and there's a missed assignment. I don't know how you can miss Kenny Thomas, but right there he sprints down the floor, and whether you're in man or zone, you've got to account for him because he's going to find those spots and seams on the interior of your defense and call for the basketball.
You know, Larry, in the 2 previous games, as you see Shields checking back in the 2 previous games against Utah this year in Albuquerque, 13 points, 3 boards. In Salt Lake City, really was shut down, 8.7 rebounds. This is a game. We still have 1:18 left in the half. 19 and 12 for Thomas. Make it 20.
And I would watch for Coach Rick Majerus not to stagnate this Utah offense, but I would watch for him. He's very crafty to come down and call some things offensively to try and get the ball to the man that Thomas is guarding on the inside to see if they might attack his offense by hurting him defensively.
Throws down the second free throw, 21-point half, and Lobos down 1. Melmoth kicks it far side to Jesse.
Sometimes when a player like Thomas gets on a roll, the only way to defend him is get him in foul trouble, and that would send him to the bench.
Tough defense by the Lobos, and a whistle stops play. David Gibson whistled for the foul, and that's the first on Gibson.
Well, you watch these 2 teams get in their half-court man-to-man defense, and you're talking about 2 of the better defensive teams in the country. Utah ranked 6th nationally, forcing teams to shoot a field goal percentage of 38. New Mexico in the conference, they were 2nd. They held opponents to 41% shooting.
Caton throws down a pair, and the lead is back to 3. Under a minute to go in the first half. Gibson walks it across midcourt. Scoreless to this point.
And Caton guarding Gibson, really sagging off, trying to provide some weak side or strong side help depending on where he is against Thomas.
Good defense by Utah, and Lobos forced to put up that tough baseline shot by Alney, and Utah will work for the final shot of the half. They're up 3.
Yeah, for Utah, whatever happens on this, you want to get the last shot. You don't want to foul, and maybe get that shot up early enough so you have a chance for a putback, but again, you certainly don't want to foul or shoot it too soon.
Caton drives, and the ball swatted by Thomas. Oh, what a presence.
Caton feeling the pressure of that shot clock, really dribbled into traffic, no place to go with the ball.
Jesse on the inbounds, takes a step, no shot, couldn't get it away before the buzzer. Had the open 3, but he took a step in to try for the 2-pointer. Thomas runs up the tunnel with 21 points, 12 rebounds. And Utah leads by 3 at the half. The WAC championship on their opponent in the rebound margin, plus 10, and tonight they're on the negative end.
And all that from a team that played 3 overtime games last night, and I thought might come out and be a little bit fatigued. That's why these guys are between the ages of 18 and 22, and you can throw all those stats out the window.
Smith tries the three. Van Horn the rebound as we start the second half. Van Horn, 8 points, cooled off the final 12 minutes of that first half. Doliak from the free throw line, no. Shields the rebound. Jesse tried to reach over for the rebound, and now New Mexico runs, and Kenny Thomas pulls the rim, nearly takes it to the floor.
And much like a situation that happened in the first half, Kenny Thomas running down the floor in a foot race, just trying to beat Doliak down and establish a position to see if he can get a cheap shot or a quick position in that low post.
Caton missed off the glass. Jesse the rebound. Inside Doliak, spins on Thomas, and a whistle. First half numbers, Utah 40%, only 30 for New Mexico, and the three-point shots did not fall, but Kenny Thomas picked up the slack. And the rebounding is what we talked about. Utah so dominant on the season, but -4 in that department in the first half.
And 11 offensive rebounds for New Mexico. Kenny Thomas with 6 of those, and you saw him in that first half many times, keeping the ball alive, just like Dennis Rodman does many times, just tipping it till he could gain possession.
Doliak missed the first, made the second. 5 points for Doliak, and a substitution for Utah. Melmoth checks back in. Doliak checks out.
And this is great substituting by Coach Rick Majerus. With Melmoth and Doliak, you've got basically 10 fouls to give. You can keep a fresh player, a fresh body on Kenny Thomas to see if you can wear him down.
Gibson to Schornstein in the corner, guarded by Van Horn. 15 on the shot. Gibson to Schornstein. Nice swooping shot by Schornstein. He was scoreless in the first half on the board, and that ties this game up at 34.
Schornstein has been a terror in this tournament. He's taken his shooting percentage from 48 to 50.
Jesse backside rebound, and he throws it off with his right hand. Jesse with a nice offensive rebound off the miss from Van Horn. And Jesse now with 10.
Those are those quiet things that Jesse does. Get on that offensive board, keep the ball alive.
Kenny Thomas picks up his third. And mark that down. That comes at the 17:49 mark.
Well, I tell you, this is one area of Thomas's game that has really improved, matured. It's had to. He's averaged 4 fouls the last 15 games, but he has done a marvelous job of stretching the timeout between the third foul and when he's picked up that fourth.
Jesse fakes left, goes right, rebounded Thomas. That's a shot Brandon Jesse likes. That's a shot he'll make. Schornstein trying to get Van Horn up off the ground, and now back to Smith. 36-34 Utah.
See how far off Andre Miller is playing.
Nice lob inside to Kenny Thomas, and a whistle on Andre Miller. Aggressive for Thomas, considering, Larry, 3 fouls.
Well, he's got to make sure. He's very good at using his body, but at times has gotten involved in the low post, particularly with Melmoth, of using his arms to fend off and gain an advantage on the inside. And just got to be careful and establish position with the body, not push off.
Shields the open 3. Came off the rim to Jesse. Here comes Andre Miller. Under 17 minutes ago and a half. 36-34 Utah. Van Horn trying to post up inside. Andre Miller cuts and lays it up. Comes out. Doliak the rebound. Lost the handle. And now a whistle.
And they're going to get Clayton Shields for that foul. And you could hear a collective sigh of relief, because Kenny Thomas, you see him in the vicinity, and as soon as that whistle blew, it was almost as if the air went out of the pit. You don't know if that's in disbelief that he got called for the foul, or he's really happy that that foul was not called on Thomas. Taking one for the team.
Maybe both. Jesse. Andre Miller hangs on the pivot foot, trying to kiss it off the glass. Working hard to rebound. In traffic over Thomas. And the jam down by Van Horn.
Andre Miller ought to get an assist for that shot. What an effort to get the ball inside, the effort on the offensive rebound, and then Van Horn just said, let me finish this thing off for you, little fella.
Van Horn in double figures. Working both hands, throws it right to Smith, and he'll pop the rim for the bucket. So the turnover cost Utah, and the Lobos climb back to within 2.
Charles Smith sprinting down the floor really did a marvelous job of reading the eyes of Van Horn. When he saw Van Horn look up the court and make an attempt to make that up the court outlet pass, Johnny on the spot stepped in and intercepted that pass.
Doliak backs in. Thomas had to play him soft, and Doliak gets his 7th point.
And I would watch for Utah again, not to come down and stagnate their offense, but to look at Doliak as long as Thomas is on him and really make him play both ends of the floor. He wants to play on offense. If you're Utah, you got to make him play on defense to see if you perhaps can get him to pick up that 4th foul and send him to the only place where he's going to be defensed in this game, and that's on the bench.
Utah by 4. Coming up on the 15-minute mark. 8 on the shot clock. 7-6 on the shot. Smith pulls up. Gets the bounce. 3-pointer. Charles Smith hits the 3, and it's a 1-point game.
You're wondering when Charles Smith was going to warm up. He had just 5 at halftime. He's averaging 20 on the year.
Doliak. Caton took it hard, hit the deck, and Doliak, the soft jumper. Doliak warming up. 9 points in this game, 5 in the second half, and it's a 3-point game. Utah. Van Horn picks up his 2nd foul. Timeout. 14:39 to go in the ball game. Utah by 3. Championship week continues here on ESPN. The WAC title on the line tonight. Utah leading New Mexico by 3.
Now you watch the interior defense side with Doliak and Thomas. Doliak fronting, moving on the court as that ball's getting passed around on the outside. Good job. You can't see the ball, but New Mexico doing a good job of changing sides with it. You see Thomas giving up right there, and anytime you get that offensive player to move away from that sweet spot, the low post, put his hands up and walk away. You've done a good job defensively.
After the timeout, Thomas will stay on the bench, and Daniel Santiago, the 7-foot 1-inch sophomore from Albuquerque, back in. Played a couple of minutes in the first half. Santiago on Melmoth. Kicks it back to Schornstein. Guarded by Van Horn. 14 on the shot.
It's down to 10.
Down to 8. Olney keeps the dribble. Schornstein, 3-point shot away. In and out. Rydolph chases it down.
And again, good fundamentally sound defense. Really not having that go-to player on the inside. And Utah doing a very good job of not giving up dribble penetration.
Down the baseline and a whistle. And Melmoth hits the deck, picks up the foul. Sunday on ESPN, 6:27 Eastern. Join Chris Fowler, Dick Vitale, Digger Phelps for the men's tournament selection special. You'll see the pairings and get the most in-depth analysis of the tournament field. Then at 7:30, State Farm presents the NCAA Women's Tournament Selection Special. It's all on ESPN Sunday.
Well, there's an argument going on here. Dave Bliss thought that Charles Spider-Smith was in the act of shooting when he drove baseline, and the official saying no, he was fouled while he was on the ground.
Second foul whistled on Ben Melmoth. 3-point shot. Down. Charles Smith. His third 3 of the game, 13 points. And we're tied at 42.
2 ball games against Utah this season. He scored 15 in the first, 14 in the second.
Melmoth comes back. The one-hander. Doliak battles for the rebound. Overthrows the basket. Melmoth and Shields from behind. And again, the referees step in, separate the two teams.
With Melmoth and Doliak in the lineup, you've got 2 very physical players, 2 tall players, and I would look to Utah when they have this lineup on the floor, their twin towers, so to speak, to pound that offensive board, and certainly with Kenny Thomas out of the ball game to really try and exploit the size advantage they now have on the floor and pound the ball inside.
Third foul on Clayton Shields, and Melmoth, 6'11" sophomore from Newcastle, Australia, played his high school basketball at Judge Memorial in Salt Lake City. And that's what he's looking at.
Melmoth had a tough time against New Mexico offensively. The first meeting had just 4 points, and the last meeting did not score at all. So he certainly put up better numbers so far in this game than he did in the last ball game. But Melmoth's job in this ball game is defense.
43-42 Utah. Charles Smith picked off Ben Caton. And he waits for the traffic. Back to Jesse. Wide open 3. Takes it. And an offensive foul called on Utah.
It appears that they've got Ben Melmoth's number 30 for coming over the top. And, you know, I talked earlier about Utah having 10 fouls to give at that 5 position. You certainly don't want to burn a foul. Somebody as important defensively as Melmoth is going to be down the stretch of this ball game, picking up a cheap foul, going over the top, trying to get an offensive rebound.
Now Melmoth with 3, Doliak with a pair. 43-42, Utah.
New Mexico not doing a bad job of moving the ball around, pacing themselves, being patient on offense. They're a different basketball team when Thomas is not in the game.
4 on the shot. Smith from way out. Hits the rim. And Ben Caton chases down a loose ball. Here comes Mark Reinhold. Bounce pass into Melmoth. Foul on Schornstein, his second. And Kenny Thomas with 23 points in this game checks back in at the 12:09 mark. So he got his 3-minute rest.
And he's coming back in, and New Mexico, a much different ball club with him out of the game, but New Mexico hanging in there and really not putting themselves in a hole in an effort to give Kenny Thomas that much needed rest.
Thomas with 21 points in the first half. Held to just a bucket here in the first eight minutes of the second half. Melmoth will shoot 2.
Melmoth doing a nice job. He's rewarded by these free throws, but of getting in the low post and really did an excellent up and under move to draw the defense. But he's got to make those free throws.
He's had some trouble. Made the first, missed the second. 44-42. Utah with 12 minutes to go. And Van Horn awaits.
That ball's being passed around, and Doliak doing a pretty good job.
Kenny Thomas breaks behind Doliak for the layup. 25 points, 3 off his career high.
As that ball changed sides, I thought Doliak did a good job of going from right to left. And when that ball was swung back, no pressure on it.
Reinhold's lost the handle. Kenny Thomas asking for the ball. He receives and he delivers. 11:32 to go. Timeout. at the pit in Albuquerque, and we're tied up at 44, Utah and New Mexico.
Now, this is the last basket that Kenny Thomas scored. You see Doliak in pretty good position right there. As the ball is swung, Mark Rydos does not come up and play David Gibson. He doesn't pressure the ball. He doesn't get all the way back to help on the pass. So consequently, Doliak cannot get that split second that he needs to readjust his position. Thomas catches and scores.
11:32 to go at the pit in Albuquerque. Craig Bowler-Jack, Larry Farmer. The WAC championship on the line. 44 all.
Utah giving the appearance that they were playing a zone defense, just playing a very soft man-to-man.
Shields working tough inside on the mismatch with Doliak. And Doliak picks up his third. You talked about 10 fouls to give. 6 have been given. Melmoth with 3. Doliak with 3.
And your game plan when you've got the luxury of having 2 big players like that is to spend those fouls on Thomas.
Clayton Shields with 2 big games. Regular season, look at the numbers there. Doubled his regular season output. Only 4 points tonight as he makes the second. And it's New Mexico's first lead since back in the first half when they led 22-21. Payton thought about the 3. Doliak on the trailer. Miller had it stripped by Schornstein. Here comes Gibson. Takes it coast to coast and rolls it in. And David Gibson ends a long drought. His first bucket from the floor, and it's a 3-point game. New Mexico. 22nd timeout called by Utah.
Oftentimes when you get in a half-court set defense and you're scrapping, you play smart and alert, and you see the nice strip there by Schornstein. The pitch ahead now. Right there, I thought Gibson was going to come to a jump stop. It was a 3-on-1 with a 3-on-2 break with Doliak trailing, but he elected to take it all the way to the basket. The ball was not securely stopped. The defender did not get between Gibson and the basket, enable Gibson to get all the way to the rim and lay it in.
Larry, during the regular season, you see Utah over New Mexico. This is the way the WAC wants it. They want to go 1-2 seeds, and this is the way it turns out. 1 playing 2 for the championship. Fresno State, Jerry Tarkanian finishes 20-10 overall. A bubble team?
Oh, definitely on the bubble. And again, you know, with the Coach Tarkanian factor, I would not be surprised. The WAC has gotten 3 teams in before. I would not be surprised if they do it again.
And considering they beat Utah twice during the regular season. Thomas lost it off his leg. Here comes Andre Miller, 2-on-1 Utah. Gives it up to Jesse and gets an easy deuce. Jesse with 12.
Not a good post entry feed. That's a lost art of getting the ball in properly with good angles and spacing. And Utah very fortunate that time that Andre Miller was not called for an offensive foul. Over-penetrated.
Gibson slows the tempo. Shot clock down to 10. Shot clock to 6. Smith working on Van Horn, and he gets the roll off the rim. Charles Smith, 5 points in the first half. He's rattled off 10 here in the second 20 minutes. He's coming off a 29-point performance against Fresno State. Inside Doliak, Thomas reached in and knocked it away. It'll be Utah basketball with 23 on the shot.
And here's that fast break by Utah. Andre Miller with the ball now. He should jump stop right about there. Over penetrates, and although Utah very fortunate getting that score, he doesn't jump stop. That could have been taken away.
Miller, the pinball, the shot won't go. Fresh 35 out of bounds. New Mexico basketball. Utah with 3 chances inside the paint and couldn't produce.
With the kind of defense that New Mexico has been playing, when you get the ball in those high percentage areas Utah has done. You want to win on the road, you want to win in the pit, you want to win this WAC championship, you've got to knock those shots down.
Shields for three. Short. Thomas the rebound.
Thomas never got out of the lane.
Lane violation, and Utah will get it back. Down 3 with 8:56 to go.
He got the offensive rebound, elected not to take the shot, took his time, looked around, and he passed it, but he didn't quickly jump out of the lane. He just sort of stayed there as if he'd lost track of the count.
Well, he played 49 minutes last night. He had to find some time to catch his breath.
Perhaps that's the only thing he's done so far in this game that would be reminiscent of a guy playing as a freshman.
Comes right back with a block. Jesse the rebound and the jumper. Brandon Jesse with his 14th point. 49-48 New Mexico. Under 8.5 minutes to go. Shields for three. And you better watch out as Shields finds his range. He's warming up his second three-pointer of the night. 52-48 New Mexico. Biggest lead for the Lobos.
He's been on fire in this tournament, and if you're going to sag off anybody, it should be David Gibson. You can't afford, if you're Utah, to sag off a player that's shooting the ball as well from the perimeter, particularly at three-point line, as Shields.
Then Caton forcing the action as he drove baseline. And Gibson picks up his second. Timeout with 7:48 to go at the pit. Shields hitting from way out. Knocks it down for a 7th point. New Mexico by 4. 7:48 to go in Albuquerque. New Mexico by 4. Here's the storyline brought to you by Office Max. New Mexico 9 of 16 in the second half. Thomas 25 points, 14 boards, Larry. Utah struggling from the field. Van Horn only 2 points in the second half.
That 36% shooting, again, attribute that to the good defense that New Mexico has been playing. Not really giving Utah those open looks at the basket.
Inbound pass goes to Rydolph, missed the jumper, and the rebound goes to New Mexico. 7:40 to go. Gibson, offensive.
And that's really not a smart play that time by Gibson. You see how far the defense is playing off. Melma just crossing the lane and waiting for David Gibson. Gibson telegraphing that drive from his spot about 16 feet out. When Gibson put his head down, it was really all over for good help side defensive support.
Goliak comes in with 3 fouls. He'll be matched up against Thomas. 52-48, New Mexico. Jesse inside the three-point line. Couldn't get the shot to fall. Chased down by New Mexico. And the Lobos pushing the tempo. Zornstein from the corner. No. Van Horn the rebound. Andre Miller, boy, lost the handle. Turn an ankle, pop back up. Now Jesse drives on Shields. Van Horn steps behind the three. Short. Thomas.
Utah in that fast break really not spacing themselves out, getting good floor coverage on the break, and that's why Andre Miller and Van Horn ran into each other. Well, getting back this year if they get past Montana State.
Well, you compare the two, and there's the storyline. New Mexico, 53% in the second half. Larry, Utah, very uncharacteristic of poor shooting in the second 20 minutes.
And a second 3-second call. Yeah, I've watched a lot of college basketball games, and I guarantee all the officials will give players a little bit more than 3 seconds to get in the lane, screen, post, or whatever, and then get out. You really got to break camp in there to get called for 3 seconds.
That's the third call tonight. Reinhold's thought about the three. Dropped it inside of Doliak. Nearly taken away by New Mexico.
It's a nice idea by Reinhold, but you've got Doliak at 6'11". That bounce pass, had it not been deflected, would have been awfully tough for the big fella to reach down there and grab and then try and make some sort of a decision in traffic as to how to score.
Doliak leaves it for Andre Miller. Under 6 minutes to go. 4-point game. Miller quickly spins and dishes off the glass. What a move. Andre Miller, first bucket of this half.
Out of Bourbon Day High School, went left, swung back to the right, froze the defense. He made that move so quick that the help side really never had a chance to get over and maybe contest that shot.
2-point game. Charles Smith doing the splits on that far side and put a foot on the line. Utah basketball with a chance to tie. A three-pointer would put him on top.
You can't fault Charles Smith for that. He just lost his footing. But those 3-second violations, those are mental errors. We were blocked that time by the official, but it appeared Miller, in an effort to drive on the baseline, got himself too deep. The defense really converging. And based on what we could see, the call was made. He stepped out of bounds.
New Mexico on a 3-minute scoring drought. 52-50. 5 minutes to go. Gibson. Tipped in. Looked like Doliak. Kenny Thomas credited for the bucket. 27, one shy of a career high.
Now, it's almost a shame that a guy that can get his own baskets will be credited for that one and probably literally had nothing to do with it.
And Thomas slaps at Doliak and picks up the foul. So Kenny Thomas picks up number 4 with 4:34 to go. Kind of the same scenario we saw last night in that triple overtime. Thomas played down the final stretch with 4 fouls.
And I'm really surprised that Coach Bliss is taking Thomas out, perhaps just to give him a rest, because Thomas has proven, especially in these last 15 ball games, that he's really stretched the distance and time that he's been able to play with 2, 3, and 4 fouls.
Doliak 80% on the season from the line, makes the first. Doliak in double figures. Vin Caton checks in for Brandon Jesse.
I tell you, Utah #1 in the nation in free throw shooting 78% as a team from the free throw line, and that's how you win tough games on the road, and that's how you become a great tournament team, is making your free throws. Just as I say that, Doliak misses.
54-51 New Mexico. Lobos with the basketball. Santiago. Now Smith drives on Miller. Baseline pull up. Too strong. Doliak reaches out for the rebound. Here comes Miller. Boy, losing. Let me ask you, Larry, do you want Miller to push that tempo 1-on-4?
You want him to push the ball up the court, and as the point guard, you want Andre's head up. You want those lanes filled wide, and then as the point guard, he's got to make a decision as to whether or not there's an advantage. A lot of pushing and shoving going on the inside. Now, right there, he's got to center the basketball, get his head up, and if there's no advantage, he's got to be prepared to jump stop, pass, or dribble that ball back out and get Utah in a half-court offense. Several occasions I thought that Andre has really pushed the ball, over-penetrated, or gotten the ball in very deep. New Mexico bailing him out time after time by fouling him and putting him on the line. Kenny Thomas back in, so certainly that was just to give him a minute below. So the last 4 minutes and 9 seconds, he'll be available and fresh.
Miller made the first, missed the second, and that's been the tendency for Utah here in the last few minutes. Can't connect on the free throws. It's a 2-point game, 4 minutes to go.
Boy, in the first round, they shot 90% against Hawaii, 17 out of 19. Did Utah against Colorado State University? They shot 75% from the line, 15 out of 20.
Alney beats Thomas. Melma hits the deck. Van Horn comes over to help out. Now a whistle. Good backside help by Van Horn after Melmoth goes down.
Now you watch the flop that Melmoth takes right there. When you take a flop that close to the basket, nothing good can happen. Now Van Horn came over and appeared he had a pretty good angle on that shot. I didn't see much of a foul. Thomas, because of his position on the floor, was forced to expose that ball back, and I thought Van Horn got a pretty good shot at it.
The 16 rebounds ties his career high. Had it this year against Colorado State. He scored 28 last Saturday against Fresno State for his career high in that category. He can tie that with a free throw. 3:44 to go. Lobos by 2.
Both these teams do a very good job in the half-court offense of drawing fouls. New Mexico shooting on the average 25 free throws per game, and Utah shooting 26 free throws per ball game.
And Thomas matches his career high of 28. Buckle up, heading down the stretch. New Mexico by 3. We'll be back. 3:44 to go in the WAC title game between New Mexico and 10th-ranked Utah. And the hometown Lobos using this home court advantage up 3. You look at Van Horn, 8 in the first half. Only 1 bucket here, Larry, in the second. Good defense, not getting shots. What?
Well, he's 4 of 11, and Van Horn is a smart enough player that if he's being denied the basketball on the inside, he'll step out to the perimeter. If he's not getting his shots in the perimeter, he gets in the break or he'll get on that offensive board. So he'll find a way to get that basketball down the stretch and make himself a factor in this ball game.
1 out of 4 the second half. New Mexico by 3. Doliak gives to Jesse. He'll try to tie the game. Off the mark. Van Horn, the putback. The no-look hook. That was a tough shot. Van Horn with an even dozen. 55-54 New Mexico.
Well, Brandon Jesse comes into this ball game shooting 45% from behind the arc. His game, of course, is if you play off of him to keep you honest by taking some of those shots, but he's much better inside that arc.
Jesse the steal and the bucket. Had to run by Moose Stubing to catch up with that basketball, but Jesse with 16, and Utah back in front.
And you notice he made sure, I don't know if he stepped out of bounds prior to catching up to the ball, but he made sure he got both feet back in bounds before he ran and caught up to that basketball, and then he pushed it and drove it in.
Dave Bliss, the WAC Coach of the Year, takes timeout. 2:52 to go, and Utah back in front by 1. Some fancy footwork.
Brandon Jesse's going to read the eyes of David Gibson, anticipate this pass, steps in, does a nice job. Now watch him avoid Moose Stubin, gets 1, 2, 3 feet back in bounds, so he's established a position on the floor, then gains possession of the basketball and drives it in.
Utah now with 12 points off the turnovers. Possession arrow pointing to Utah as we reset this game. New Mexico with 1 full timeout. Utah with 3. And the team fouls 9 and 8. 56-55. Utah. Another steal. Van Horn chases it down. Takes it up and finger rolls it in. Van Horn with 14, and that is a big basket for Utah. The lead is 3.
Just as we talked about coming out of that timeout, that Van Horn had really not been a factor in the second half. He rebounds an air ball miss, shoots a jump hook in, denying, reading the eyes of the point guard, watching the passer, knifes in, intercepts, and scores again. And that's how Van Horn can be a factor. Doesn't get in the offense, gets it in transition, gets it on the glass.
14th turnover by New Mexico. Gibson answers back. 2-pointer just inside the 3-point arc.
And I tell you, David Gibson really needed that. Struggling after committing those 2 turnovers, which led to 2 quick fast break baskets from Utah.
Utah calls a timeout. We'll keep it here. 58-57. Don't miss the final day of championship week. The ACC Championship, 1 o'clock Eastern, Georgia Tech and Wake Forest. And then at 3, Michigan State and Indiana. And the Big West title game at 5. All that followed by the tournament selection specials. ESPN, the place to be, Sunday. Oh, look at that. 18-1 in this building this season. I'll take you back to late January and the lone loss to this club, the Runnin' Utes.
And you know, Utah beat New Mexico twice in a quirk in the schedule. They actually played each other within 3 games. They each played a different opponent, and then they played again. And when you can beat an opponent like Utah beat New Mexico and catch them soon after that, a lot of times you can catch the other team's confidence down. They don't believe they can beat you, and you wind up sweeping them in a situation, whereas if you played them maybe 4, 5, or 6 games later, it would have been a different story.
Look at the 2 huddles. Dave Bliss with New Mexico. Rick Majerus looking for his 150th victory as the head coach at Utah. Majerus averaging 21 wins this season in his 7 years at the University of Utah. More basketball coming up. What a night. Big Sky title game, Weber State, Montana State. That's following this game here in Albuquerque. A long ways to go. 1:55 to play. Utah by 1 and the basketball. Inside Doliak, and he softly lays it up and in. Doliak with 12.
That was a great execution of a pro set where Van Horn just runs a little loop around Doliak to try and influence both defenders, the one guarding Van Horn and one guarding Doliak, to watch Van Horn, and that slips Doliak in the backside.
Thomas missed the layup. The putback. Doliak over his back with a foul.
Now you see at the bottom of your screen, you watch Van Horn. He's going to run a little loop right there. He's got the defender trailing him. And as he loops outward, both defenders go with Van Horn, and that frees up Doliak to step right to the basketball and then take the power shot to the basket.
Thomas will shoot a pair. Doliak with his 4th foul. 28 points, 10 of 13 from the line. And that is a new career high for the freshman. 29 points. Looking to make it 30. It's a 2-point game. Well, that's some clutch shooting by the freshman. 30 points for Thomas. 60-59 Utah.
He doesn't draw iron on those shots, and you can tell that Thomas is very confident in his ability to step up and make those pressure-packed free throws.
Utah holds the ball, a minute to play. 12 on the shot clock. Van Horn sets the pick for Miller. Slices in, Jesse the rebound. And now turnover as he took a step. Jesse spins, or Utah spins a timeout. Jesse shaken up.
Oh, right there, Jesse jams his head into Andre Miller, and it snapped his neck back.
Rick Majerus and his staff huddled up. 50 seconds to play. We'll come back to the pit. Hang on.
ESPN Magazine takes you inside the sports you love. First up, Baseball 96. It's the big season preview issue that covers all the bases, with team-by-team analysis from Peter Gammons. Up-to-date lineup, rookies to watch, free agents, all the big deals, major stuff. So get a grip. Hardball is back, and we're making a big issue of it. ESPN's Baseball 96, on sale March 19th.
Introducing the second seasons at Virginia Beach. It's got everything you come to Virginia Beach for in the summer. The sun, the sand, the fishing, the museums, the seafood. Only one thing's missing. All those other people. The second seasons at Virginia Beach. Call for more information.
They're howling in Albuquerque, New Mexico, down 1 to Utah. The Lobos very effective down the stretch, 12-2 in games decided, Larry, by 7 points or less this season.
New Mexico with a variety of players to go to in the clutch. You talk about go-to players. You've, of course, got Shields, Clayton Shields, 22, Charles Smith. Kenny Thomas has been the go-to guy of the match. But a number of players for New Mexico have stepped up and taken and made big shots in these close ball games, particularly here in this tournament.
Gibson walks it up to Smith. Thomas trying to post up on Doliak. 20 on the shot, 34 on the game clock. Schornstein squares up. That's the three-pointer going away. Schornstein knocks it down. 62-60 to Mexico. 22 seconds to play. Van Horn spots up for a three. No. Saved by the Lobos.
Utah's got a foul.
And Jesse reaches around and will send Charles Smith to the free throw line. Schornstein so dangerous, Larry, from the three-point line. 44% on the season. Hasn't had a big game, but he hits the big shot here.
Well, he gets open because of ball reversal. The ball is rotated around, and the defense of Utah so aware of where Kenny Thomas was that whole backside was off in the paint. So on ball reversal, it left Schornstein wide open. The defense was not able to get back. It gave him that clear look at the basket. He knocked down that big three-point shot.
Rick Majerus calls timeout. Down 2 with 11 and 1/10 second. They are the defending WAC champions. Won this title a year ago on this floor in Albuquerque.
It's Utah's last timeout.
New Mexico with 1 remaining if they would need it. So, Coach, what do you do?
Well, that was the 19th foul, or 18th foul by Utah. So you're in a 1-and-1 situation right now. For Utah, you've got to hope that New Mexico misses that first free throw and you attack the boards. Down 2, you have an opportunity to come down and shoot a 3 and win the ball game. That first one is made, you got to hope that they miss the second, because now again you still have an opportunity down 3 to tie the game.
Rick Majerus, does he go over both scenarios right now?
Oh yeah, you go over both scenarios on a miss, on one make or 2. They make both. With 11 seconds left to go, you've got to try and get it long and score. Hopefully, you hope that you can foul right away. But what you pray for is a miss on the first one, or certainly if they make the first one, a miss on the second one. Give yourself a chance to draw up something that you can get the ball up the court, a quick screen, give yourself a look off the dribble for that three-point shot.
Charles Smith, 15 points in this game. The triple hop. And his first free throw.
Well, he hit the 3 key free throws in that second overtime against Fresno State.
It's a 4-point game. Andre Miller working his way down the floor. Right alt. touched by Schornstein.
Entirely too much time that time for Utah. You needed a quick push. It's a 2-possession, some sort of a quick score, a quick 3 or a quick drive to the basket, then a foul, but they didn't get either.
Knocked away once again.
Well, you've got to score here, almost literally off the pass, not allow a lot of time to elapse.
Reitholtz launches from downtown. No. Van Horn, no. And that's it. New Mexico wins it. Mexico gets the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Utah will definitely be there as well. But a big win and a great game by the freshman. 30 points for Kenny Thomas.
Almost unstoppable. Carried this team, the New Mexico team, in the first half on his back. Certainly, if you look at him as far as the MVP of this tournament, Kenny Thomas doing it all at both ends of the floor.
Kenny Thomas named the tournament MVP. Back to the studios. New Mexico wins 64-60. Chris Fowler, what a night.
What a night it continues. The Lobos going loco. Filed us away for the NCAA tournament. Games decided by 7 points or less. New Mexico now 13-2. Already been a great day and night. Next up, the Big Sky Conference Championship game. Montana State, the 1 State. Weber State.
Greg Schornstein hit a three-pointer to put the Lobos up by 2 with about 25 seconds left. Charles Smith helped to seal it with 2 free throws with 11 seconds left. The Lobos going to the dance. We'll find out tomorrow at 4:30 right here on these stations where the Lobos are going to go and where they're going to be seated, and it's exciting.
All right. Utah finally goes down in the third meeting between the Lobos. Back to you, Mark and Alex.
Hey, Van, excellent work out there tonight.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Great game, huh?
Yes, it was.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.
That's right. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Enjoy the Lobos' victory.
Good night.